Check 1 2 1 2. All right, welcome back, my friends. I'm the Zim. This is the Zim video. This is the Art Professor's podcast. I'm the art professor, also an artist. I'm currently teaching at Northwest Missouri State University. We have 4 weeks left of the semester, then a week of finals. So we're getting down to it. So a couple of things to update you on. I'll give you the bullet points of today's show. We'll update you on the exhibition coming up this summer. We did a conversation interview with Mike Levitt. We'll talk about that. I'm going to be doing an artist talk soon. Talk a little bit about what I did over spring break and applying to jobs again. What the update on that for next year. Talk a little bit about what happened last week in classes and what's coming up for classes. 4 weeks. I got some news about my taxes that we'll talk about. And yeah, so that's that show for today. We'll see how long it takes. I don't know how long it'll be today. Okay, first off, again, reminder. So teaching at Northwest Missouri State University, got my MFA at San Diego State University, got my BFA at the University of Washington, and we're on this journey trying to be an art professor. So we'll see how it goes. It's been going pretty good so far. I'm enjoying it. First thing on the list, reminder about the exhibition this summer, May 13th through the 30th at the Hiram Van Gordon Gallery at Tennessee State University. A couple things. So, of course, you may or may not be able to actually go to it. It's a performative exhibition. So between the 13th and the 27th or so, I will be drawing for 14 days in a row. Portraits of Justin Jones and Justin Pearson. So it's this performative live stream. I'll be live streaming, so you can check it out on the YouTube channel. But if you're in the area, obviously you can definitely stop in and watch me draw, ask me questions, talk to me. So that's part of it. What's the update? So over spring break, I did I mapped out, or just did some math more than anything else. I figured out how many drawings if all the drawings would fit on the walls, what it will generally look like, how tall are the ceilings. Turns out the ceiling height is like 96 inches, which is taller than 8 feet, which is good. So the drawings will be 3 high and then basically right up against each other for most of the gallery. We'll just fill up the gallery. It'll be like wallpaper essentially in the entire gallery. The gallery's a little bit bigger than the amount of drawings that I have to fit that way. There are some obstacles in the gallery, like some, emergency light type things on the walls. So I'll have to move around those. So that'll affect how I lay things out. But I basically did some math to make sure they would fit. Or if I would have had to stack some in a different way or whatever, but they'll all fit on the walls. So that's good. So I'll figure out the exact layout the first day I'm there, the May 6th. I'll just lay out all my paper. I do have all my paper ready. I prepped all my paper over spring break. So that was like the first thing I did over spring break. I had to order a couple more sheets. I did sample drawing on the new size. They're bigger. They're 30 inches by 22 inches wide by 30 inches tall. So they're fairly large drawings. So a couple logistic things. So I have all the paper ready. I know it'll all fit. I'll be driving down to Tennessee on May 5th, I guess. Get there May 6th, pull up to the gallery, start loading in my crap. Got to bring my easel, got to bring my camera, my tripod, my computer, maybe one of these monitors I have. And then all the paper, obviously. My ink, I have enough black ink. I have maybe enough white ink already. I'll probably order more white ink. I'll do that soon. So that's kind of that. I still don't know where I'm going to be sleeping every night. I think after this podcast, I'm going to email one of my friends and just be like, so here's the deal. Any chance I could sleep on your floor if I have to? Because I'm trying to I don't know why it's so hard, but campus housing hasn't notified the gallery curator of what the expectation is around that. And I'm hoping it comes through so that I can stay in a dorm for the summer, for that month or whatever. and it'll be fine. That's what I'm hoping. But, red tape, logistics, all the things, they're moving students out. They probably don't want to deal with it. They don't have a designated visiting scholars area, I guess. So, which is a bummer. A lot of campuses have something designated for visiting scholars. So those are some of the things still in the air. They started the campus, the gallery curator sent me the rough draft of like the press release for the show, which is pretty cool. So I reviewed that. That's really awesome that's happening. And promo's looking good. I guess I don't need to really make any more promo. I've been hustling, getting the word out. Every time I'm on TikTok, I end a TikTok video with, hey, don't forget I'm an artist and I have this exhibition coming up. So that's kind of the update on the show. Between now and the show, I'm going to draw. I have maybe 6 pieces of paper extra. So I'm going to draw on them, just more practice, because I want to be able to get in the gallery the first day, just kind of know what I'm doing and just go. I already feel confident. Not like when I did the Ketanji Brown Jackson ones, the first time I drew in that size was the first day of the show. But this one, since I'm practicing beforehand already, I feel, and then just my drawing technique and style has developed just as overall. So yeah, I already feel pretty confident. Oh, and I got to buy more boards. So I bought 1 board that'll work for the drawings, and then I need to buy 4 more boards and cut it down. So there we go. So that's the show coming up. You'll hear more about it every week that I drop a podcast. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. We interviewed Mike Lovett today, earlier on my YouTube channel. Really great conversation. I already listened back to it. I love it. It was perfect. We touched on all the topics that we want to touch on. Him and I turns out we have a very similar ethos around our creative process in terms of the messages that we get behind and want to talk about and how we think about it. So yeah, it was a great conversation. He's got an exhibition coming up in Seattle, Washington, July. I don't know the dates. July and August. I think mid-July, or yeah. You'll just have to go to the conversation. I put it in we talked about it. So it's called Talking Trash. So check that out. It was awesome conversation on the YouTube channel. Conversations with Creatives with Mike Lovett. That was pretty rad. I do have an artist talk coming up, so I was able to print some posters. I've been hanging up around campus. My artist talk is going to be at Northwest Missouri State University, April 8th at 7 p.m. So off chance, I know I do have a few students that listen to this podcast. So off chance, if you're a former student from Northwest Missouri and you can come through, that would be amazing. If you're a current student, you've already heard about it because I've been badgering all my students about coming. So hopefully we can fill up the room, the space full. I'm hoping it's pretty much full. I don't know though. It's not required to be there, but I'm just hoping there's enough interest from my students and the community that they want to come. So we'll see how that plays out. Yeah, April 8th, 7 p.m., room 244 in the Olive Duluth art building. Yeah. All right. Spring break. What else did I do over spring break? My first couple days of spring break, I wasn't feeling that great. But by the end of spring break, I started feeling better. But then I couldn't sleep. The Sunday, I got a case of the Sunday scaries, I guess, in a little bit. And my anxiety was all over the place. So Monday morning, I was whacked out. I only slept 4 hours. And I got dizzy and weird, but I made it through classes and stuff, but it was a struggle. The first few days of classes this week was weird. Right now I feel way better than I did the beginning of the week. So hopefully this is going to trend this way now and I'll keep feeling better. But it was I was struggling at the beginning of the week. I don't know, my anxiety, I think I was just starting to think about all different kinds of things. My body wasn't feeling that great. So that triggers my anxiety. And then there's probably something going on, even though I'm trying not to let it get to me, the idea of not knowing where I'll be again next year and not having anything, not even got any calls back yet. And we'll go over that in a second. but spring break was decent though. The first half of the week I was really hustling, doing art, getting ready for the exhibition. And the second half of the week I just was vertical, or horizontal is what I meant to say. I was just not doing a lot. I was horizontal, just chilling and just relaxing as much as possible because I didn't want to be burnout for the beginning of the school week again. And so, yeah, but unfortunately things got weird. Beginning of last week was great. So we had a bunch of projects due in some of my classes. I'm teaching this ad design class and a typography class. And those two classes in particular, we had some work due that week. And they did some great work. I'm really, really happy with how the students did the work. The typography class, we did these little propaganda posters, and they turned out really good. The ones that turned them in anyway. I kind of put my, I don't know what the word is, but the pressure on them to make sure they were good. I was thinking over spring break, right at the beginning of spring break, I was like, you know what? I really feel like we need to look at the progress one more time before they turn them in. So I had them all have their, designs ready on Tuesday to look at. So we did this one final critique. Then on Thursday they came and hung them up and printed them out. And they look great. And then my other class, the ad design class, we're doing these big posters, 24 by 36 size roughly. And we did those. And the coolest part about this, so we have 11 students in the class. 4 of them weren't quite done yet, so we're still waiting on 4. But the other 7 all got theirs done. So they hung them up in the walls. They looked fantastic. The coolest part though for me, and I don't know, for me just noticing we were hanging them up, there was just kind of this energy about them because I really wanted to curate. So we have this space in the hallway. I really wanted to put intention about how we hung them up. So I had the students decide what order they should go in. We got some feedback. So they went basically from they kind of did a color, what's the word I'm looking for? A color spectrum in a way, where we started with the lightest one and worked our way to the darkest ones. So they kind of went with that. We had a couple that had different sizes, and we talked about how those should be intermixed with them as well. So that was really cool, and just kind of planting the seeds of, and I don't think they get a lot of, I don't know how it works when they're time to hang work, because I haven't seen them hanging work in a way that's I was taught when I was doing grad school, especially about how high you're supposed to hang, what the considerations you want to have in the process of hanging work. I haven't seen them really understand that concept. So I was trying to plant some seeds of proper height, how you do it, using blue tape to mark out distances, measuring between things. So at least they kind of saw it. Whether they took it in, I don't know, but they kind of saw the process. And then we hung them up. They all looked pretty nice, the ones that were there. We kept space available for the ones that weren't ready yet. So they're going to be hung up in between them. And then, so next week, hopefully by the end of next week, they'll all be up. We only have a couple more weeks left until they have to be taken down because they use the hallways for the senior exhibitions. So, but the bottom line though is after they were hung up, there's this little light row that they turned on that could shine on them that looked really cool. And the students were taking pictures of them hanging on the walls, and you could just tell they were just sort of excited about it all. I really felt an energy about it. And I'm really, really thankful that they seem to be proud of their work too. And they should be, because their work is really good. And I'm really excited about how it turned out and what it looks like. And they get to see the scale too, because one of the things that this particular school hasn't done well over the last few years, from what I understand, is, especially with design, in the design courses, is encouraging the students to work in larger scale versus just 8.5 by 11 and even 11 by 17, even smaller scale. In some of my classes I have them, the print and mail center on campus prints up to just kind of basic printing up to 13 by 19. So I have them make posters that size, so they're a little bit, but this one I was like, we're gonna do something big. You're making posters for this event, make a big poster. So 24 by 36, and it turns out great. I wasn't sure what that visually looked like, but now it's like, oh, that's perfect. It was the perfect size, nice big posters. A lot of the students were visibly and, you know, audibly kind of excited about it. So that was really cool that happened. Yeah, so that's basically, I don't know, that's kind of the update on what happened last week, what's happening with the classes. So things are going good. Got to still do my grading. Grading's okay, and making it happen. I wanted to talk a little bit. I meant to do this before I talked about the classes, but talking about wherever I've applied so far. So to update you on my journey as a professor and getting my next job, I've applied. I just looked at all of my folders. I make a new folder inside of my computer for every place I apply to, and I have 11 folders, and 10 of them are like faculty positions, and one of them was a residency. So we're going to go through them, starting with the most recently applied to the back one. I'll try to remember the ones I'm most interested in. So the most recent one, on March 15th, I applied to Michigan State University. They have a lecture pool position they're looking for. So who knows if I'll hear back from that, since it's a little bit different. It seems like I don't know. It was hard to tell if it was like guaranteed full-time position or if it's just kind of like a maybe kind of situation. So we'll see if we hear back from that. Davidson College out of North Carolina. Trying to remember the ones that I were more interested versus less interested. I'm going to see if I can pull up. I could tell easier if I can see their websites, like the memory of, is this the one of the ones that I really want or not? Oh, Davidson. Yeah, Davidson was a good one in terms of the way that they shared what they're looking for. I really liked how they were like, as so far out of all the what's the word I'm looking for? Like job descriptions are posted on these job boards. This Davidson College is so far at this point of the 2 years of doing this, the best language, the most well-written, best explanation and of what they're looking for. Partly because it resonated with me and how it really felt like they took the time to know who they are as a school and be able to express that and be able to express specifically what they're looking for. And it felt fresh and it felt new. And one of the things that really felt like resonated with me was this: they had this line about, basically not wanting a professor that teaches just the techniques of art. They wanted you to go beyond techniques and be kind of like what I am, like an expressive kind of artist, I think, is the way I interpret it. So I really, as far as the position and the location, North Carolina, not exactly I'm not stoked on that, but as far as like what it feels like the school's like, I would be happy to talk with them if they want to get back to me. Wesleyan University in Connecticut, like the area, like this one, interdisciplinary. Let me see if what I need to do when I do these, I need to like copy like I was just describing, their post for the job to see if I remember. Yeah, I don't remember what the specifics about this one, but the area is nice is one thing I liked about it. Visiting faculty. So yeah, visiting faculty. So this great, totally into this position. So hopefully they call me back. We'll see. College for Creative Studies. Oh, that last one was March 11th. College of Creative Studies in Detroit, Michigan, March 5th. Apply to them. This is for a full-time, like not a visiting faculty, but not a tenure track position, like a full-time faculty, full-time lecturer. I guess multiple years. It didn't have a time. It wasn't like a 3-year or whatever. So, and this one is like probably, some ways on the top of my list, which I'll talk about more in a second, what I'm thinking about my future of. But this one looks amazing. Like I would love a callback on this one. So I don't know. I feel like, honestly, any of these by now, I would have gotten a callback on if they were interested in. Department of Art and Design at the University of Tampa, March 7th. Oops, I'm in the wrong order. I didn't put them in the right order. Oh well. Not really excited. I just applied to this one just because it was the right, department, visiting faculty, 1-year position, but Florida does not excite me at all. So we'll see about that. March 3rd, I applied to the College of Charleston in South Carolina. This one actually looked cool. I liked this, or I think, again, the area is like whatever, but it's visiting faculty, so I'm okay with it. February 21st, Kenyon College. I've already talked about this one before. This one is like, this will be my first, so that sort of tied for first place. As a visiting faculty position, this is on the top of my list for that. But this was February 21st. I would have gotten an email or something by now if they were interested. So they are clearly not interested. December 24th, Massachusetts College of Art and Design. This one was a tenure track position. So I just applied to this just because, not that I'm not really excited about the idea of tenure track, but this area is not bad. Like, so that's Boston. So that would be cool to be in an area like that. Back going farther back, December 24th, West Haven, Connecticut, New Haven, University of New Haven. This is a non-tenure track lecturer position in graphic design. So just trying to see if I got a call back for that. Minneapolis, so December 9th, Minneapolis College of Art and Design, visiting faculty position. This would be cool. I've applied to this place before too, MCAD. I applied to this place when I was still a MFA candidate for something. And then the University of Washington, School of Art and Design. This is a tenure track. This is the very first one I applied to, October 25th, for an interdisciplinary position. I seem to have missed one because I did apply to a what's it called? A residency at Michigan State University. No, University of Michigan. I don't seem to have that in front of me, so I must not have printed that one out. But I did apply to a residency at University of Michigan. That would only be half the year, so I don't know. It was the second semester, I think, and so that's where I've applied. I've applied to 11 places, and 10 of them are faculty positions, and one of them was the residency. And thinking about that, so the one position at, like, if I get a call back, which I really feel like, since looking at these dates now, I mean, a few weeks ago, I don't know, unless they're just, you never know what schools, protocol is or procedure is for how long they get to things, how long their committee, but the committee at Northwest Missouri State that's looking to fill my position for a tenure track position is basically like right on it. It's like within a week they're getting back to the candidates that they want to talk to. So unless there's a longer process in some of these, I don't know. So we'll see. But I haven't got any emails yet for many of these positions. So I don't know. Part of me though is like thinking it's either or, whatever the universe wants for me. If the universe wants me to go to a visiting faculty position, it'll let me know. If it doesn't present that, then I guess the universe wants me to go to Michigan. I'm going to go to Michigan and just start a life in Michigan, in the Detroit area, I think. I'm just going to because part of me is starting to think maybe I just want to put my stake in the ground a little bit and just figure that out and not travel as much and get have a little security that way and just be like, this is where I am. And I don't know. So that's why that one position at let me look it up here. The College of Creative Studies is in the area, is in Michigan, near Detroit, right in Detroit. It's like a position that I think I'd be really good at. and it would start to establish some kind of, thing. I would be able to be somewhere and have a little security with that. So I'm okay with that. That's actually like really desirable for me. And it's pretty much the only, I don't know, there might be some other places out there that I would consider doing a tenure track position for, or like a full-time, this is where I am situation. But yeah, it's not going to be like Maryville. I know that. But and then the other idea is if I do end up somewhere, I just hope, it's always a hope that I could know a little bit more, at least get a call back. Maybe by the end of, maybe sometime through the summer, it'll be the same thing that happened this year. I'll just get some school will be desperate and I'll be the first one to apply, and they'll say, this guy looks good enough, let's call him back. But I just don't know. I have no idea if how I'm applying is doing anything to make me look in any way, is really showing what I'm capable of. Because as I've said before, really there's no one that's better than me. So I don't know what it would be that would make me show that I'd be the best option. So, and I didn't get called back, so clearly they don't think I'm the best option. Bummer, right? Anyways, so that's where we're at with the job, and I keep every day at this point, every single day, because I have this website called CAA, the College Arts Association or something like that. Every day I look at it in the morning, because if you look at it, you can find out about the position 24 hours before they send out, like, I have these automated like notifications on certain keywords, and they don't get sent out until 24 after the position's posted. So I get the position notified as soon as possible, and then if I can basically apply to it right away, I do. But if I'm like at work or something, I just wait till I get home and apply to it then. So okay, what's next? So that's what's going on with the job situation. The last thing to talk about is taxes. So I got my tax info back from my CPA, and I actually was recording this for you right now when I was looking at my tax stuff, and I think I figured out something, because I got my tax information back from my CPA and it said I owed a bunch of money, and I'm like, why do I owe this much money? This makes no sense to me. I did not make really anything off of my self-employed aspect of it, and I always claim the most, right? I pay the most in taxes off my paychecks. I never like try to like claim a lot. I claim nothing, so that the most goes to the IRS until it's time for refund time. So I just now, within the last 25 minutes, I took a little pause of recording this podcast, and I went over my tax information again, and I think I found the issue. I sent my P&L, profit and loss, to my CPA, and I included what I made as a independent, as a self-employed, and what I made through teaching in the same P&L, and they put that amount, so that was like 40,000, something like that, based on the P&L. They put that amount in my self-employed amount. So they thought I made 40 grand last year as a self-employed person, and that's not accurate. So it was closer to maybe like 6 grand, a little more according. I mean, there's some, I don't know, obviously now that I see that he did that, I'm not sure what he's choosing to report. I guess he's going to report everything else, because there are other things. I gave him everything. I said, this is all the income I made. This is all the money that came in. This is where it came in. What counts as self-employed? Because I made, like, not made, I guess, but my audience, you, and people I know, when I traveled from San Diego to Maryville, basically that summer trip, I was kind of, you were helping that, and I got about $600 through that. Like, people were willing to donate to that thing. So I don't know if that counts as income or what, but it was just like donations. So I'm just including it just to make it either. So it's a little over $6,000 is what I brought in outside of teaching, the stuff that I already was taxed on. So I'm hoping that my guy will get back to me shortly and be like, oh, sorry. And I think if I solve all the numbers correct, I just figured that out. I think, so I'm learning something. I'm just looking at the numbers and going like, what doesn't seem to make sense? So, because I got it. So last Thursday, I was in my office working on my work, done teaching classes for the day, got an email from my CPA and like, here's your tax stuff. I looked at it and it said I owed like $4,500. And I was like, what? I was like, my stomach like churned. I was like sick to my stomach with that. I was like, I can't afford. How am I supposed to? What is? I was like so confused, especially since like I really haven't been making any money more than typical, and all the rest of the years I actually got refunds and not had to pay. So we shall see what I actually owe, if I owe anything now. So that's a huge difference. I was like, that's such a huge, massive difference in my pay. So we'll see if, because I'm basically in a deficit for my self-employed, I'm not really making anything because the expenses sort of equal or outweigh what I made. So, and there's usually some parameters around that, and that's why I've been able to get refunds over the last many years. So yeah, I think I got it. All right. I'm feeling okay. I just need my CPA now to respond because he's terrible. He's the worst at responding. He doesn't do any kind of like, oh, I got it, I'll look into it type of emails. All he does is respond when he's finished with whatever. He just does the work and then emails and like, oh, did you get it? So luckily he's come through for me so far. So yeah, it's okay. Everything's good. All right. I think that covers it for today. Any last words? I don't know. Thanks for joining. Hope you'll come back again. Life is good and we got to remember it sometimes, right? So as always, be loving, kind, and patient, and hope to hear from you. Comment on any of these. Of course, you could find the podcast all over the place, but YouTube is the most important part. So come back to the YouTube or go to the YouTube and comment on any of the videos. If you're listening to this in any other format, go back to YouTube and comment on anything that says Art Professor's Podcast and ask me questions, make comments, and say what's up. All right, friends, as always, like I said, be loving, kind, and patient. Peace.